stepped into the ballroom. I was a little late. I put on my big smile. The leader at the front of the room on the stage grabbed the microphone and said, "Oh, Dr. Shellie, you've arrived. How is your very, very public yet absolutely perfect life going?" It hit me to my core. Perfect life, I said. Just the day before, I had found evidence that I had to leave my husband. That my perfect life wasn't going to be perfect anymore. That the talk show that I had been hosting, that I loved, Inspiring Lives with Dr. Shellie, was going to crumble because I had to transform my life. I had to get out of a bad marriage with a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old in tow. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. So on the spot, I burst into tears. A woman grabbed my hand, and another woman grabbed my hand as I told the story, right there in the back of the room, in the back of the ballroom. And it was through that beginning, through that sisterhood of imperfection and realness. It wasn't the social media where I was always smiling and my hair was always done perfectly, or the TV spots where I was smiling and doing everything right. It was real. It was authentic. I have to take you back because I started my career as a tenured professor after I was a principal of a school for emotional and behavioral needs students. And as I was a professor, I absolutely loved it. I was able to do so many wonderful things. I was invited to speak at the University of Oxford in England. I created a methodology that was taught in the Harvard University for ethnographic research. My life as an academic was fantastic. I had to write. I mean, it's publish or perish out there when you're an academic, when you're a scholar. So I started writing books and I started writing articles, and I wrote this book, Mentoring Magic, Pick the Card for Your Success. And I went on a book tour. And on that book tour, I got on a radio show and I was telling my story. And then I got a call and said, "Okay, you need to re-record this." And I was like, "Oh gosh, it was perfect." You know how sometimes you think you're perfect. I thought it was perfect. But no, we had to re-record. So before I went back into the studio for that, I was told to contact a woman named Clarelle Radicella. She had a company called Mind Your Business. And I called her up, and I was told by the radio host that this woman would probably be able to help me market my book. And if you've done any marketing of books, you know you have to get out there, spread your word. So I was talking to this woman, and it became so much less about me. It became more about her and her story. And I got so enthralled. We had this like instant friendship. I became so enthralled that I dropped my cell phone next to the computer, and I put it on speaker, and I started typing like a mad woman, like I'm typing away, and I'm getting her story down into my computer and into my heart. And when she finished her story of having a brain aneurysm while she had 3 children as a single mother, and while she was getting her doctorate, so I could totally relate to the doctorate part, but I was like, oh my gosh, are there other women, other people out there that have stories like yours? And she said, yes, and you should be the one to tell them. So I went back on the radio, and there was a countdown, and it was 3, 2, and as he's counting down to go back on the live on the radio, I said to him, "Oh my gosh, has anybody written these stories down in a book?" And he said, "No." And I said, and it was 2, and then I said, "If anybody has to do it, it needs to be me. I want to be the author of the book," and we're on. The next week in my inbox, I get a single link, the YouTube link, and I click on the link. And on national television, this gentleman that I had done this radio interview with said, Dr. Shellie Hipsky of Robert Morris University will be writing Ordinary People, Extraordinary Planet. I was like, oh my gosh, I better change my whole thing to inspirational and I better get writing. So I started collecting these incredible stories of people from around the world. It all started to come together. I've been able to interview over 1,000 people over the years for podcasts and television and radio. But when I had my television show, I was able to reach a totally different platform. Now, I have to tell you, as an entrepreneur, you're going to go through emotional highs and lows. I heard a giggle. Absolutely. You know, if you had those entrepreneurs out here know. The emotional highs and lows come. And I remember I was doing all this stuff because I had this television show coming up. It was being filmed in a multi-million-dollar NBC studio. I had my people coming in from all over the world. The hotel rooms were booked. All the stories were written. Everything was ready to go. Teleprompters were loaded. And I was doing this pro bono work for the sponsor so that we could make this happen. I was leading women empowerment events and doing all this good stuff. So I'm doing this under the assumption that it's going to go as planned. I get a phone call, and on that phone call, the sponsor says, "We're very sorry, Dr. Shellie, but we don't think we're going to get a return on investment on your show. So we're going to have to back out at this time." I was supposed to go and cut the check the next day. It was supposed to be happening. So I went to that financial institution's competition and I sat down and I didn't focus on my story. I focused on the stories that needed to be told to the world. And I cried and the banker cried. I make a lot of people cry. I don't know if you know this yet. But she looked at me and she said that it was time, and she cut me that first business line of credit. And that is when I became a businesswoman. I had to switch those hats. And I was on that roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship, the ups and the downs and the bobs and the weaves and the turns that we go through as entrepreneurs. Another big thing is really staying close to your big, crazy idea. If you have an idea that's really, truly going to help people, that's going to solve a problem for people, that's when you're going to make a difference. That's when you're going to be authentically you and attract in the right clients and the right customers to your fold. There was a woman who constantly was getting business cards ripped up in front of her face. She only wanted to be Goofy at Disneyland. That was the character she wanted. She wasn't the right height. She had a product, though, and she had to find a way to get it out into the world. So she took pictures of her own bum. She did. Pictures of her own bum in her product and out of her product. Now, that woman created, somebody in the audience heard it, yeah, Spanx. So Sarah Blakely created Spanx when she heard Oprah Winfrey confirm that her idea was a good one when she said that she too cut the tops of her pantyhose off so that she could keep it all svelte, sucked in. So there are many, many, many wonderful entrepreneurial stories in ball gowns to yoga pants. creating your dream business and brand. And Sarah Blakely's is one. There's also so many other ones. But there are so many stories. Perhaps you have a story of your own, or you're going to create your own story. Because inspiration is truly a story away. I want you to dig into your heart, dig into your soul, and think about if you could be anyone, if you could be and live in any way, how could that be? And what would it be? Now, I have a Empower You masterclass that I teach. It's a proven curriculum. I take these women through this curriculum. I help them find inspiration, empowerment, and balance. And one of the women that has taken my course is Christine Furman. And she had a wonderful, wonderful story of going from being a teacher to going to being an incredible business owner. But we did it not in a classroom like I used to be in, but over pomegranate martinis in my favorite Chinese restaurant. And what we did was I had her close her eyes. So I'm going to have you do that. You at home? You here? I'd like you to close your eyes. I can see if you're peeking. You're going to close your eyes. And I would like for you, while you have your eyes closed, I want you to take in a deep breath with me. To the count of 3, we're going to go in. 1, 2, breathing in the goodness. 3, and out. 1, 2, 3, breathe out the BS. No, let it go, let it go, let it go. Whew. You needed that breath. Keep your eyes shut. As your eyes are shut, I want you to imagine if you could be and explore a job opportunity in any possible way. What would it be? Who would you be? Maybe you have to pivot now. Maybe you have to change your dynamic. Maybe you have to change your career to get to that dream job, that dream career, that dream. I'm seeing you. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Get into it, get into it. Think about it, dream about it. What are you wearing? What are you driving? Who are you? Who are you now? Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and let it out. Open your eyes. I told you it was ball gowns and yoga pants, didn't I? So, as you are exploring this dream life, maybe you are that mom running around on the cell phone. You got your kids in tow and you're making things happen. You're making business deals on your cell phone. Or maybe you're in a power suit, walking into the boardroom and making big things happen. Whatever it is that you desire, as long as you are authentically yourself, you are going to make a difference. You will make a profound difference in this world because you're going to solve a problem. You're going to ride that roller coaster. Whew, ride it. Because it is so exhilarating to be an entrepreneur. It is so incredible to be able to give the world something that you have personally created. And you can do it. Whether you are going to be a warrior or maybe a singer. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to create, go out there, be the moment, take it on, shine like the star you are. Namaste, and remember, inspiration is just a story away.